Hi, I'm Michelle Eliason, and I am presenting my final report for the ReproRehab Fellowship. First off, a picture. I'm a very visual person, and this definitely describes my experience. So I went from unstructured workflow, which means I was all over the place with our, I knew a lot of random things, which serves me well when I'm actually doing a project, but but it was chaos. Like it was completely chaos, and I am not a chaotic person when it comes to my work. And so I needed systems and I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't even know what to expect. When I started this Repro Rehab program, all I knew was there was going to be more people interested in this arena and more people interested in making sure that rehabilitation science was going to be stronger in our future. And I'm here for that. So I started the program and I learned a lot. I saw a lot. I was exposed to other people, other research, and it was entirely helpful. So, what have I learned in Repro Rehab? So, you can see that before situation, I had one chaotic script, one script. I I cleaned and merged everything in Excel. That is what I thought I needed to do. I spent days of hours, countless hours, weeks cleaning data using Excel formulas to move columns around and find holes in missingness. And it was crazy. I just thought that that is what everybody else was doing. And I certainly learned a lot from that, but it was chaos. I had 8,000 plus lines in one script, just craziness. I was scrolling up and down to find things that I had changed the names of. I just knew kind of what I was looking for, and it was very difficult. I had random chunks of code that I was testing, and then they worked, but I didn't label them or annotate them, and then I would have to figure out which one worked and which one didn't. And I don't know why I behaved in that way, but that was my life. So that was my before, and then after. Clearly, you see a pipeline. So I this was my major project, was dissecting the chaos and making it systematic. And that was what I hoped to get out of this. And that is what I got out of it. So everything is done in R, the cleaning, the merging, all of it. I mean, it's fantastic what R is capable of. I don't even know the half of it. I'm just getting started, but just incredible. I work very systematically. Everything is more modular. Everything is annotated for simple thinking. So the way I work is very layman's terms. I want to conceptualize it. I want to see it. I want to know it. I That is just how I work, and so it takes me a little extra time to convert everything, but it is worth it. And I have to tell you this story. I'm working with data right now that has just a lot of variables. And I intended on building a research paper. I needed to have it done. uh, the deadline's coming up. Um, and I did it all, and my paper was drafted. And then I realized that I used the wrong variable set as my main players in all of my analyses. I used a set that should have come after. Don't ask me how I got that far. It's a long story. But when I found out that this was incorrect, I was gutted, and I didn't know what I was going to do. If it was the old me, I would have had to start over from scratch. I wouldn't even know where in the plan I went wrong. So I would have had to restart. But because I have this pipeline, I am able to just plug and play. I'm able to do this entire analysis twice. Um, and yes, it's going to take me more time, but I'm going to get two papers out of this when I would have lost months. I only gained, and that is because I learned a lot of these systems that I never knew before. What have I accomplished during my fellowship time? So the first thing is, um, sorry, the first thing is that I developed a companion manual from the course curriculum to again translate key concepts into accessible, practical guidance, really for me, but for anybody who needs it. So the curriculum was fantastic, but because I learn in a very specific way, I have to translate it into this like real time jargon so that I can conceptualize it. And that is what I did with this very well made curriculum from Andrew and Rini, uh, my mentors in Pod 3. So very excited about that tool that I have going forward to make sure that I remember these core components. The next thing that I did was completed a case study that was already being finished, but I was able to hop in and start getting things up on GitHub, being more systematic. So this is when I was just kind of playing around with some of these earlier thoughts that I was exposed to. But it was so cool to be able to see that, wow, now my science is more accessible to others, and I'll be able to use again this pipeline that I've created when I get more stuck. This is a case study, which is why it's in preprint. But as we start getting more and more participants, I'm going to be able to use the same pipeline very easy as a plug and play versus recreating the wheel. Do you have any papers or grants planned for the upcoming year? Actually, again, like I had stated, I have two papers that will be coming out that I do attribute the the process, the ease of the process that I've been a part of to ReproRehab. And then I'm adding this slide. I know that we're headed into this 8-minute mark, but I wanted to just take a minute as an occupational therapist to promote ReproRehab. Why would I recommend this to specifically other occupational therapy researchers? So the first thing is it strengthens scientific rigor and credibility. Our science is growing, but we need more rigor in the field, which is why I went back for my PhD. We need more rigor. We need to be seen as more credible, and that's constantly evolving. But having these principles underneath us and having us all learn these characteristics of reproducibility and systematic research um, is very important so that again, like the OTPF, we all have this framework. It's another framework that's going to make our research even stronger and allow us to communicate with one another. So it supports the growing number of OTD and PhD researchers that have their base training in occupational therapy. We have more OTD students and programs than ever right now, and having this training is going to be so important. It goes above and beyond just R or Python or MATLAB or SPSS or SAS, whatever you're using for your data analysis. I would be so bold as to say it really doesn't matter where you're at along that continuum right now in the beginning. What matters is that we all know how to articulate what we're doing in a more universal way. We need a new language, just like we have OTPF. We need a language for our research that's going to go above and beyond what we're researching if we're in this space together. It enables shared language and collaboration, which I've stated. If we are doing this correctly and strongly, then somebody who uses SPSS and someone who uses R, we're going to be able to understand what one another is doing and why we're doing what we're doing. Somebody who is largely an SPSS user is going to be able to hop into my code in R and say, oh, I know exactly what they're doing. This is the flow that I am incredibly used to already. We're going to be able to do that, and exponential growth in our field and our research is going to happen. And then it prevents siloed and non-reproducible research. That goes without saying. We need to be on the same page, not only in the occupational therapy profession, but all of rehab science. is going to be able to communicate more strongly if we know these core, these foundational concepts. So I would encourage anybody um, in the occupational therapy field, if you're going for research and you believe in the science of what we're doing, to you know, proceed forward. And I think that you would really benefit from this program. If you have any questions, please do reach out to me. I am here for it. I will drop my email here, and I think it's going to be a great adventure for you.